Okay. Well, here we are. Good morning. Let me just make sure it's all working. Okay, we seem to be good. Alrighty. So today we are going to work on finishing developing this component and just making it work fully in React. And I think that's our only goal for today. And that might end up being where we leave this project. I did send it over to the dev team, and we'll just see what they want to do. It's fine. I'm proud of the work. I'm content to leave it here if we need to, but let's go ahead and get this component done. I did load Font Awesome before I started today because I just didn't want to go through that. So that's going to be the fonts that we used during this time. So let's just go ahead and get started here. How did I do this before? Sorry, I had this working and then I just forgot how I did this. I forgot how I did the. I had the icons working. I just can't remember how it works. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. So where did we leave off? So we have, we have the basic shape of the component, but we have a number of things to still figure out. So let's go ahead and start by figuring out this image. And one of the things I want to point out is that the way that it's cropped, if you look at the arm, is different on the Figma file that we worked on. So that's the one on the left. This is just a screenshot that we grabbed so that we could kind of match it and just see what we were working towards. So you can see it's cut off a little bit. And I think the way that I did this was that I just I pushed them down a little bit, and it really helps focus it. And I tested this with like 10 different images and they all worked just fine this way. So let's just go ahead and just do some little adjustments on this this and just see class name. We'll do relative, which is, and then I think bottom is 12. I think it might be a little bit more than that. 16. That looks almost exactly right. Okay, and then actually, let's real quick do something else here because clearly the head is being cut off, and that's because we have overflow hidden on the entire component. So let's turn that off, and then we're going to add a div just around the image so that we can control just how we handle the image itself without anything else. So we're going to pop that in there, and we're going to give this the class name of overflow hidden. And overflow hidden just means anything outside of the box that it's in will be hidden. I mean, there we go. Already better. And I think that's pretty much exactly what we need. I mean, I think it's about two pixels different. If we were to like zoom in on this, you see, I don't know. That looks almost exactly the same. It might be 1 or 2 pixels different, but that's fine. It's close enough for us. So, just zooming in on the player just adds a touch of dramatic flair to the card. Okay. Now let's go ahead and work on the player title, and let's see that. So I also have the Figma file up. It's really hard to switch back and forth between them. It's just a pain. But that's 24 pixels and it's bold. So we're just going to say 20 fonts. What is it? Text 24. Goodness. 24. Yep, that looks right. 2XL. And then font bold, I think it is. Yep. All right. I mean, you can see it looks exactly like the thing. And then the 32, 20 pixels, and also bold. So class name, text is probably XL, bold. Looking good. Now it is not centered, of course. It's not following. You can see it's like up at the top. So let's go ahead and add a div around these two things. Actually, we already have it. So I think it's just items baseline is probably what we want. And, or, you know, it could be items center. In traditional typography, you would just go for baseline. In digital, a lot of times you see it more towards the center. And then what we can do is we actually need to add a div around this guy. And I'm sure there's a better way to like create something around here. I know that you can do it with like wrap, something like that. I can't remember how to do it, but it's just wait. Anyway, but it's just like it's so much harder than it needs to be. And what do we do? In VS Code makes me want to go back to something else, but we are where we are. Okay, and then we have the star, which I believe this is a ooh, and you know what we can do actually is we probably don't need to wrap this in a div. We can just go ahead and add it within the paragraph tag because this is going to be the thing that sets what 32 is. So let's just do I, and then last name, FA for font awesome, and then FA. What was this exactly? This was star, maybe? No, it probably wasn't star. It was probably sparkle. And I think it was FAS for FA sharp. What's that? I have created this in an outline, so I'm not exactly sure. The rest of them I am pretty sure because I've already got those set up, but let's just see. This one is oh, I did create a custom icon. So in Font Awesome, there's this awesome thing where you can upload custom icons and it just becomes part of the font. And so I did FA, what is it? FA kit. And then FA VFL points. There we go. Okay. And then how do we, I don't think did we load in custom colors? I'm trying to remember where we were. I think we did. We did our grays and our gold. Okay. We did gold. Yeah, gold 500. Okay. So we're going to hop back over here and we'll do a gold. Gets text gold. There we go. All right. And then we're going to make it a slightly smaller font size. Text small, probably. Yeah, there we go. And then we can add some flex on this guy and do a little bit of a gap of maybe 2 pixels. And then we will do items center. And there you go. I mean, it looks exactly like it. I guess there's a slightly bigger gap. Yeah, looking good. Okay. Next line. So similarly, oh, actually something we should do here is for the sake of accessibility so that when screen readers see good things here, we're going to say, we're going to add a span here. And we're going to do something called SR only, which means screen reader only, which means it won't show up for anyone else. And we'll say points. We're just going to say points there. You can see nothing shows up, but for a screen reader, they'll see that icon as points. so that they know exactly what it's being indicated. We're going to actually do that same thing for dualist in a second, but let's go ahead and add the dualist icon, which we have after, of course. And this is going to be class name again, FA kit. And kit means the stuff that we custom added. And then FA VFL dualist. And it shows up right there. We're going to make it flex again, items, center again, and then we're going to add a gap of 2. Oops, what did I do? And like that gap isn't showing up. Oh, that's because it needs to be on the paragraph itself. Okay. So we went up a level too far where it was doing it for this whole line instead of just for this piece here. Oh, add that. There we go. We got our, again, it's a gap of 2. It should probably be a gap of 4 just to match up. We're looking good so far. And on the right side here, you can see I've already, I accidentally loaded the dualist icon over there. But we're going to go ahead and make this, what is it? Crosshairs. So this doesn't use the kit. It just uses, or it's crosshair, I guess. Or it is crosshairs. Okay. And what version did we use? We used Sharp. So I believe that's FAS, Font Awesome Sharp. Did I do this right? And it looks like it might be the solid weight. Oh, you know what? FAS might be Font Awesome Solid. What is Font Awesome Sharp? Sorry for the back and forth here. Sharp Solid. I'm looking up the docs here. FA Sharp, FA Regular. Okay. And the reason we don't have to do that for Kit is because there's only one version that we upload. And let's see. Same thing here. We're just going to do a span, last name, SR only, close that tag, and then just say, what is this? Kill score. Something like that. I can't remember. I'm more familiar with how the code works than the actual VFL itself. And then on the entire paragraph, which we need this guy on the outside, we are again going to do class name, flex, gap 4, and then, gap 4, and then items, center. And there we go. We're on our way again. And then it's small, right? Text small. Cool. And rather than just do this over and over, I'm just going to copy this and we're going to make this 2. And then this is actually a W. So FAW maybe. And map points. And so this one is a little bit of an action. It's a little bit different. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do there because if you remember right, if you look at it here, it's much, much smaller. And so what we don't typically do is, like I don't want to add a whole new text size just for the one thing. So I think there's a way I can do text 4 pixels and let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, so that makes it super small. I think we probably want 8 or 10. Yeah. And I'm not sure if I just want a W here because I don't know, it's just a W, right? So we can try that. See if we like just a normal W instead. I mean, it looks pretty identical there. So we'll go with a Font Awesome one and we'll do solid, which is similar to bold. And we will do And these are actually items top. You look at our icon over here, and what am I doing? Oh, I've got it in the wrong line. And what was the last one, by the way? I think it was like flame or fire. Go. I think it was FA solid. No, it wasn't flame. Let's see, what was it? Hopping again back over into the icon. So, oh, fire, flame, curved. There we go. And again, text small, items center. And then I think overall, we can up this gap a little bit here. Maybe we just narrow the gap in between these things so that they align a little bit tighter. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Actually, no, it doesn't. I'm looking at these icons and they're even smaller. We might end up having to add a new font size for this because I'm not a fan. You know, if it's something that is consistently different, we want to add it to our globals. If it's a one-off, I'm okay doing it inline, but oh, you know what? We may not have added custom font sizes. Let's see if that's actually still in there. I think it might be using the default ones. So we may already have text extra small. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Saved. If we were to extend this, I would probably add in custom font sizes into here. But we only did custom colors and custom spacing, I think. So we didn't do custom font sizes, which is fine for how small this project is. This one looks like it's extra small, which I don't think there's an extra small. So I still think we're going to end up doing 10 pixels here on the W. Yeah. Which is fine. It's fine. FAS sharp. And then I think we were saying items top. Okay. So we're actually going to do center. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to position this relative. And then we're going to go minus top, -2. There we go. And I think this one has a smaller gap. It's a bit tighter. And, you know, maybe these are solid. If you look at how much thicker the crosshair is than this guy, let's just see. Yeah, that's closer to it. That's closer to what we did before. Okay. I think I'm feeling pretty good about this part. Our spacing looks pretty close. I think that there's a slight, you know, I think it might be 10. I don't think we have 10 as a gap though. And this is one of the beauties of a design system fitting, like being really systematic is that you can just follow the design system. You don't have to make a lot of these exceptions, etc. The dev team can just follow the design system. Okay, so that's actually a 2 in the design file. So actually going up to 4 is already, I'm sorry, this is a 2, right? What is a 2? Yeah, okay, that's a 2. All right, so between each of these elements is 2, and then this whole thing is 8. So our gap is 8. And we'll just narrow the gap on this guy too. Oof. All right, that one needs to be 4. It just needs to be 4. 2, 3. I don't think we have 3 added. Yeah, so you can see it looks like we have 3 added, but I think I might be okay doing 3 pixels as a one-off, maybe. Let's just go with that. It's 2. We just want to be consistent. We'll be consistent. All right, and then what do we have left? I mean, you can see there's a slight different styling here, and that's just the font like that I use in the design file is slightly different than the font that React loads with. And a note on fonts is that there used to be, or if you do traditional branding, there's a heavy focus on like which font you use for everything. You know, you're going to have something for smaller elements, you're going to have something for headlines, or we'll say body copy and headlines. But for the web, my philosophy is always just use default fonts when you can. I think header fonts are fine to customize. We haven't done any of that here. We're just like really using the default fonts. You just don't have as many compatibility issues. And frankly, I just am not a believer that people really notice the difference that much or care that much. I feel and I felt for a long time like that's just kind of branding folks thinking that designers are a bit more important than we are. So I just like sticking with the default fonts. Again, the one on the left I think looks cleaner. It looks better, but I don't think it's worth all the extra effort to get that in there. So what was I doing? Oh, the dualist icon's a little bit big here, so we're gonna make that a little smaller, and then items center looks like it's up a pixel. Let's check like the controller one, see if it's still. It's fine. I think it's fine. You know, the type is a little bit thicker on this fella here. Let's just see if we like it a bit better if we do like font medium. Yeah, I like that better. So actually, let's just go ahead and do, we're going to do font medium on the whole thing. And then our bold stuff will override, but everything else will be medium. Medium is somewhere between regular and bold. So it just adds a nice bit of, just a bit of extra presence. I believe that this typeface might actually be larger than the one below. So yeah, we're at 16. What is this? So this is 16 pixels. What is this guy? This should be 16 pixels as well. Oh, I can't inspect. I can't inspect. So what is the default? You know what we can do? We can do text base. Okay, it is 16 pixels. Okay, so that's just a typeface different that this guy appears a little smaller than this one. And again, I like the one on the left better. Oh, wait. Oh, did I do this wrong? No, I didn't. I did it correct. Okay. I mean, you can see this has already come together really well. I mean, I think we're mostly done. Oh, we have this bleed of the background here. So that's something that we should figure out really quickly. And how do we do that? I think what we need to do is add a I think we need to well, let's look at how it's set up first. So we have the gradient set up on this box, which does not have overflow. And then on the player box, we have the overflow. We have overflow hidden so that it shows up down here. I think what we could do here maybe is add a second div behind this image, and we give it that, and then we say width full, height full, and let's see what we got here. Okay. And then I think what we need to do is we need to say position absolute, which relative means that any changes you make are relative to where it exists. Absolute means it just goes exactly where we tell it to. Top 0, left 0. And the parent has to be relative. Okay. It's not full width. It's in front of him. What are we doing here? Oops. What am I doing? I would say, oh, I can't type today, but I can't type every day. So, doing here. Oh, that's looking all right. And then I think we do rounded 20. That should round all sides. Okay, so what is it? Rounded TL 20 or top 20? Which, yeah, that's just T20. It just rounds the top edges. And then the last thing we need to do is just set this to be Z0. And then we'll set the image to be B10. Or actually, we'll do 10 and 20. Okay, well, now we lost. You know what? I think that's just because we made it smaller. Okay, so I mean, clearly there's some like responsive issues to fix there. Let me go ahead and turn off my camera so I can blow my nose. There we go. Alrighty. I think that might be the last thing that we want to do. I mean, let's just go ahead and do a little bit of testing here so that, oh, yeah, so that we can make sure everything's working. So I think I already loaded some other player images, or did we just have Oxy? It looks like we just have Oxy. I thought I exported quite a few. I mean, what we can do actually is just hop over to the VLR website. And what player should I grab? Let's add. Just gonna add Boaster. Drag his photo. And then we'll do yeah, so it still looks really good, right? And we can just even look at how many, that's a little big. That's actually probably larger than any player name that's out there, which is fine. I'm also fine if it wraps. Like a lot of designers will do like a dot 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 here, which I get, but I'd rather see the whole name than have it be cut off. That endlessly frustrates me when stuff is cut off. So we're just gonna leave it at that. I think that this is probably the narrowest that this card will ever get. So yeah, the narrowest would be 155. Or what is the narrowest that this card would get? Yeah, 217. Yep. And then we'll do flex 1, I think, which makes it match the container width. I don't know. I'm okay if our width just says 217. We can even do 220, whatever, just to be consistent. Okay, the next thing that I want to do here is I want to figure out this container itself, just how it's going to look. So actually, we can go ahead and get rid of our original image there, and we will just cut that out. And now we can start to play with our finals. I believe our gap was something like 8 pixels. We just check our reference from before. Again, thanks for your patience. It just is a pain in the butt to swap back and forth between these programs. It just takes so darn long. Yeah, 16 pixels. Okay, so FA 16. That sounds right. Or gap 16. Oh, okay. And then what we can do is we can do a responsive thing, which would be if this window was narrower, we can say so flex, and then we'll say flex column, and then if it's above medium flex row, actually it's probably just if it's above. Let's see what that leaves us. Some medium size. Yeah, so you can see, of course, it's cut off at the top, and that's just because of the way we have our page layout set up. So let's go ahead and fix that. Um, minimum height screen. Does that fix it? Yep. Okay, and then we're gonna do, padding top and bottom. Y is top and bottom. We'll do 48. Give it some room to breathe there. Actually, let's do 96. Give it a bit more room to breathe. And then if we want, what we can do is for mobile, we can make it a bit farther apart. 40. Yes, we don't have 40, but we do have 48. I know we have 48. So we can make them farther apart. I actually am kind of more of a fan of something a little tighter. So I like the 24 pixels. I don't mind that it kind of butts up against the one above it, because not all these player cards will do that. I can go ahead and grab another player card. Let's see. What do we got? Let's do Trent. Pops off. Oh, he looks angry though. He looks mad. Yeah, so we consistently don't have trouble there. I mean, of course, we got Oxy smiling. That's the big one, right? It's great to have a smiler. Although I think Boaster has a better picture. The shading on Oxy's picture is just awful. All right, and let's actually. Is it? Do we really want 24? It's just there's so much tension here. I like either want it to be more over or less over, if that makes sense. Where was I working from? Do we even need the height on this? Okay, we do. Why do we need the height on this? The reason I'm confused is because this should be a self-contained height. It should automatically inherit the height. But you see it like pops down. What I think it might be happening from is actually from the. Oh, it is from the image. Okay, so I'm okay with having a set height on the image. I just don't want a set height on the card overall. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Where did I have the gap set up? It should be up here. Okay. Uh, Article. Oh, okay. Of course, it's where we have it. Where we have it added. What spacings do we have added? We have 20, 24, 48. I mean, we can add in 32 here. Yeah, it's a little bit nicer. We could also, if we wanted to, just like have the image contained. I mean, let's try that really quick. Just see if on the smaller version, if it looks a little bit better if the image is just contained. Because, we do love a good mobile experience, but the problem is that sometimes usability is going to be way more important. I wonder actually if we make it just like pop down the page a little bit more, so that it doesn't come up as high. I think it might be okay with that. You need to test it, make sure it's working correctly across multiple. And so actually, we can do that, right? We have Oxy and we have Trent already loaded. Yep. Once you have it live, you'll want to pay attention to things that don't work. But yeah, we're good. We're working. We're working. Like I think texture has a weird profile pic from all the looking I've done. Let's grab textures. Just like the way his arms are cut off, like he's just in a weird pose and it's kind of zoomed out. So let's go ahead and add him. And these images are just the ones I'm pulling off VLR. So the point being here is that we don't have to do any you don't have to do any manipulations of the images. The system can just grab the existing images that exist and display them here and they'll be fine. Yeah, so you can see his arms cut off. I mean, do we want to make this image full width? Can we make it full width? I kind of like that. Not gonna lie, I kind of like that. Does this work with the other players? Does. Okay, let's actually end up going with that. Why? Why is our width not full? Is this it? Does our width need to be full there? Because we shouldn't have to specify every single time the exact width that something needs to be. It's because I forgot a space there. It's true what they say. You forget a space, you forget a period, the whole thing can be messed up. Okay, so we do need to even pop this guy down more on mobile. I swear we had 40 in here. Didn't we have 40? Oh, we did not. Okay, but we can add, we can just change this 32 to 40 because we don't need the 32 anymore. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. And then if we, horizontally, it's looking good. Let's go ahead and make this breakpoint actually a bit larger. So right now it's set to medium. Let's make it to large. Basically what that's going to do is here as well, is that it's going to, go vertical a little bit sooner. And I think this works because actually I take this back. Let's do, how do we do this? Flex wrap, medium, flex wrap, maybe? I'm trying to remember how this works, but basically, our width is set. Trying to remember how this works. It's been a while. Flex wrap. I mean, oh, you know what? We may have just been looking at the wrong one. Flex wrap. I might have to indicate where it wraps. Let me look up the. It should be that simple. It should be flex wrap. Flex wrap. Oh, that's why, because it needs to be set to flex row, right? No. He's bopping. What am I forgetting? No, it's flex wrap. It has something to do with the cards, the way they're set up, I'm sure. But they're a specific width, which is what I would expect. Maybe, they could be, maybe they have to be a certain number of columns, like 3 out of 12. Oh, crap. Guess I'll have to check the spec for how flex wrap. Okay. Flex wrap to allow flex items to wrap. Okay. I have it set up correctly. My syntax is correct. So I just need to look up at the spec and see exactly how it's supposed to work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My goodness, what is going wrong here? Oh, there we go. I don't know, really. Oh, it's because I just had it set on large, so the size at which it needed to wrap is not the size. So let's actually do, I don't know exactly, or it's probably justify center. Let's see if that puts the items in the middle. Okay, that's awesome. And then flex wrap, and then on what, large, it'll become flex row. So it'll be only horizontal. But I mean, even then, you might be able to do flex wrap. I don't like that it wraps at this point. I'd rather it just say two across. Wonder if I can tell it to just stay two across. I can't remember how this works. I don't think I can, but I can set the width of this guy at different points. It's been so long since I did this. The other thing I could do is I could wrap these, but I don't want to do that. I just want to make it simple. I mean, we can make it go flex row at a medium size, but I think that's going to cause it to cut off. Do I have to turn off flex no wrap for large? I think I do. Oh my goodness. Why is this being such a pain in the butt? Not this hard, I swear. Okay, so it's working correctly. That's exactly what's supposed to happen, I think. Turn off flex no wrap. This should wrap here, right? Yeah, okay. So let me see. What is it that we should do? I think oh, here's what we need to do. So at medium size, max width is 48 REMs. 8. Two. They're like a breakpoint one. Width full. I don't, yeah, that's not going to work. So just for the sake of this, we're just going to do 760. There's definitely a better way to do this, but you really have to figure out your like entire layout and exactly how that works first. And we're not going to do that just because it's, we just have to stop this at some point. We got other things to work on. So I think that's where we're going to go. And that's only for medium that we want the max width to be 60. So I think there's a way to do this just from medium to large. It's something like this. It's like a new syntax. I messed it up. There's definitely a new syntax that just allows me to do medium to large maximum. Trying to remember what it is. Let's go breakpoints. Okay, I don't want to waste anybody's time on this anymore, but all we have to say is large. So let's see if it shows up here. Max, mid, large. Max large, is this it? Cool. Might be it. Nope. Okay. Oh, wait. It might actually be it. All we'd have to do is add max large here. Mid, max large. Oh my goodness. I wish I could remember the syntax for this because I know it exists. I've done it before. All right. We'll just do the easy version. Max or with full. Max with full. Does this go to large? Is that what it is? Oh my goodness, my syntax is so off on this. I keep messing myself up because I'm just not checking my values. Okay, so we'll do flex column and then medium flex wrap, right? Flex column, small. We'll do flex wrap at small. Flex column. We have to do flex row. Yeah, because we have to set it up on knowing how to wrap. Then I think we have to do medium, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, there we go. We got our 3 breakpoints. And you could in theory make this wider, but I don't particularly want to. You know what we could do? I think this should be at small. And what I think we should have happen is we just set a narrower maximum width on small so that it we don't get this maximum width 480. Yeah. And there you have it. It's all working. This component is, I think, basically fully coded at this point. It works with multiple images, so we can toss in texture. He looks good. Head looks huge, but that's okay. And then we can toss in, you know what? Because they're bigger, I think we wanted to take this down, to take the head down a little bit more. Go back to poster and see how that works. Friends. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Oh, I remember why we didn't do this, because I didn't want to stretch the image. That's why I didn't do it. Because this is a 200 pixel by 200 pixel image. And when you overstretch it, like the resolution gets worse and they just don't look as clean. That's why we did it that way, because we're limited to a 200 pixel image. How do we want to do this? I mean, texture is the outlier here. I don't know that I feel good about stretching the image. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go back down to 200 pixels for this, and we got to make sure we center it. I mean, easiest way is flex, justify, center. Okay, and then, yep, with 200. Always going to be 200, and we're going to make sure it doesn't scroll down as far. Bottom 16. Oops. I mean, texture is still really big, but I think his photo might look funny here. I guess we're back to 32. We're back to making this 32 pixels, huh? We could even do 36. Let's do 32. It's more in between. That should fix textures too. Yep. So, it would be a little bit more dramatic if we were able to stretch these images, but, without being able to pull the original images, I think it's better if we just like stick to the actual resolution size so that they're as clean as they can be. I mean, they're already not like Retina, so typically a 200 pixel image, you'd want to offer the availability of it being 400 pixels, which, like, if we look at vlr.gg/ how do we see trends? I guess we got texture instead. Right, it's really small by comparison, but it's going to be crisper because you're showing the same amount of pixels in a smaller area, so it's going to be crisper, but we got to work with what we got. So I think this is it. So, alrighty, I think we'll close the stream off for today. I thought that would take a lot longer than it did. I guess we were farther along than I realized. It's not even an hour today. Oh my goodness. Okay, so after this, I think we're gonna move on. I did send this to the VFL team, and so if they want to work on this together, I think that could be a fun thing to do. I'm definitely open to that, but that's all right if they don't. I'm sure they've got, that's totally up to them. I'm fine either way. So, but we're gonna move on. I think what I would like to do is try and build an app within a week. We'll see. I think that's something that you don't typically do, but with the new tools with vibe coding, that's probably pretty possible now. It wouldn't be a good app, but I think we could potentially get something function in just a few days. So I might try and stream that. That's probably an all day thing if I do it though. So maybe might have to adjust the goals there. But yeah, I'm proud of this VFL work so far with where it landed. I will add this to the case study so that everyone can see the entire thing. So that will be available at rampant.dev/VFL. You'll be able to see the whole story from beginning to end. And of course, there is a playlist for this if you would just want to follow along with all the streams that actually worked. There were a lot of scuffed ones along the way. This was the first, my first effort at streaming ever. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I think that's it.